Nano Machine. By Hanjung Weolya. Chapter 44, I Will Ram It Until It Works, Part 1. The atmosphere on the training ground was now very different. Instructors were like the symbol of impossible for the cadets. However, they had just witnessed 2 cases where the impossible had turned possible. The instructors were also shocked. It might be better for the cadets to have hope than despair for the next test, but this was also very embarrassing. Humph. Ho Jinchong shook his head. He didn't care about embarrassment. Instructors had to be happy if their cadets were talented. If they have the skills, then they can be stronger than instructors. He first thought he wanted to try fighting Nguyen, but after seeing Yowon, he also became disappointed that he couldn't fight against him either. Let's see the last fight then. Ho Jinchong and Baki got up to the front of the stage. All instructors were saying this with their eyes, please win. But they weren't that worried either. Ho Jinchong was the best instructor there was. Baki gathered his hands politely and bowed. I will look forward to being taught a lesson, instructor. Let's do our best. Ho Jinchong smiled as he liked Baki's politeness. As they readied themselves, Baki charged like lightning and threw a kick. Kick skill? Yowon became surprised. He thought Baki looked like a blade user, but he was using a kick skill. Yowon watched the fight with augmented reality to analyze what he was seeing. I have more avatars I can fight against now. All these fights were great material for Yowon. Unlike Chun Mukium, Chun Muyin had shown all the formations of his palm skill, and they were all scanned. Yowon was also intrigued by the fact that Muyin used both hands with different formations. Watch your leg. Ho Jinchong warned and pressed on the blood point of the Baki's leg. Baki then threw his waist to dodge and spun to kick Ho Jinchong. Jinchong then easily reached the bottom of the foot to press on the blood point. Baki gasped and was thrown back. Ugh! Baki frowned. His foot was turning red. The sharp energy that penetrated his foot was the sword chi. Use of such chi in that short moment meant that the enemy was beyond the level of a master. Is he at the superior master level? Baki was able to guess Ho Jinchong's level as a warrior. He thought Jinchong would be at a similar level as the other instructors, but that wasn't the case. Do I give up? He had lost his leg, so he couldn't use kick skill anymore. Ho Jinchong asked, your right leg is damaged. What will you do now? It was as if he was asking what steps he would take to overcome the danger. Baki nodded and got up again. My foot is injured. I will have to finish it with one formation. Baki then jumped and attacked Ho Jinchong. His kick came through, and Ho Jinchong tried to defend by using the 5th sword of the 7 demon sword technique. That's when Baki's body dropped below. Ho Jinchong's sword swung in the air, and Baki slid to the bottom and threw himself up from the foot up to kick. Ho Jinchong then saw white light coming from Baki's foot. Chi? It was Chi. Baki was also entering the level of a master warrior. Most cadets didn't see the light, but Chun Yowon and the other cadets who were over the top class level saw it. Please. That's when Ho Jinchong used his sword formation to form a durable defense. That was close. Ho Jinchong blocked Baki's foot and pressed on the chest blood point. It didn't have chi, so it didn't penetrate him, but it instead pinned Baki onto the ground. Ugh! Baki coughed up blood as the internal energy struck him down. It was a complete loss. Yushuan shook his head bitterly. He lost. He couldn't even stand a few formations. So the instructors are powerful then. The 1st and 7th cadets are monsters. Ugh! I lost. Baki could barely stand up to speak. Ho Jinchong smiled. He had overpowered Baki, but he also thought Baki was a talented individual. I will look forward to your growth. Thank you, sir. Baki bowed and returned to his group. He was pale from exhaustion and toward the back, Chun Jongsum smiling at his leader's loss. Chun Yowon looked at it weirdly. Nano, get the 18th cadet's video ready so I can check on him later. Yes, master. There was something that didn't seem right. So, 2 group leaders had already been appointed. There was a total of 15 spots left, but who would dare to take the tag from Ho Jinchong? Good. We already have 2 leaders. So, if you don't want to be left out, get ready. Motto! The cadets shouted. So, now we'll bring out what you've been waiting for. Hamming glanced at the instructors and they began bringing out big wooden boxes. It's the black dragon balls. The cadets became excited. There were a lot of boxes coming in, meaning there was more than just the black dragon balls. As instructors opened the boxes, there were smaller wooden boxes that held black dragon balls and wooden swords. We will supply wooden swords for the 3rd test. There is only one per person, so don't break it. Motto. They all had to train on their own now, so they had to have a sword. As the students received their own wooden sword, black dragon ball, and the book, the cadets returned to their spot to line up and Lee Hamming dismissed them. I will see you during the third test. Dismissed. Cadets then began scattering to go about on their way. Some went to the private training room to take the black dragon ball, while some high-ranked clan members went to study the book first so they could aim to be a group leader. Let's take the ball first. Yoan already had the tag, so he was 7 days ahead. And I need to check something too. He had to check on Bakki's video too. As he was walking toward the private training room, many cadets approached him. Huh? Chapter 45, I will ram it in until it works, Part 2. 20 students surrounded Chun Yoan. However, they weren't hostile. 4 of them were Hubong and 3 cadets from the 8th group. Hubong realized why they were all here. It seemed that these cadets wanted to join as members of Yoan's group. Hubong glanced at the other 3 members, and they blocked the way to Chun Yoan. What? He already has 4? Some cadets looked disappointed. As expected, they were here to ask Yoan to take them into his group. It's good that we decided. Hubong, Machel, Wangchen, Ho Daming were satisfied that they had made the right choice. They were from middle-ranked clans that didn't have much power because they were not favored by the 6 clans. They had dreams, but they couldn't do much since the 6 clans had cast them out, which led them to despair. After looking at Chun Yoan's quick rise to power, they thought they might have a chance at changing their fate. What business do you have with my master? Hubong asked the cadets. Chun Yoan almost laughed. Hubong was doing a good job as a servant. I want to talk to the 7th cadet himself, not you. A big-bodied, muscular cadet spoke grumpily. Hubong shook his head and blocked him before he turned to Yoan. Master, what would you like to do? It's okay. Let me talk to them. Yes, sir. Hubong walked past and the well-built cadet came up to him. He bowed and complimented him. I saw your valiant fight. Chun Yoan also bowed. Thanks. I am the 857th cadet, Ko Wanger. Chun Yoan. Take me into your group. Yoan's group members became excited. It was better to find group members early so they could get ready for the test. Ko Wanger then introduced himself further. I am from the Demon Fist clan, and I am at the top class level. I will be a good member to you. The other cadets surrounding them were surprised. Oh, there goes a spot. If they were the leader, there was no way they would turn down Ko Wanger. But if this was who they were competing with, their chances of getting accepted to group were becoming slim. The cadets then shouted their names and their clans. There were some from high-ranked clans like Ko Wanger. Out of the 16 of them, 5 were from high-ranked clans and 11 of them were from middle to low-ranked clans. As the people turned to Yoan and waited for his answer, Yoan calmly said, I first want to thank you for wanting to be in my group. Chun Yoan bowed to them. All 16 cadets then bowed back, astonished by his politeness and sincere movements. I want to bring up something first. They all focused as it seemed like Chun Yoan was going to say something important. I am not only looking for members who will complete the 3rd test with me. Huh? What did he mean? Some figured out what Chun Yoan meant and began to frown. I am looking for allies who will walk alongside me on the perilous path within the cult. Wait, is he talking about the competition for the throne? They then realized what Chun Yoan really was talking about. He was aiming to be the heir to the throne and was gathering allies. What should I do? They only wanted to pass the 3rd test, but this was an entirely different issue. If they joined Chun Yoan for the competition, it also meant that they would be facing the 6 clans. They are afraid. Chun Yoan also realized this. He spoke to the cadets. If you are with me, I don't care where you are from. At the end of the path, the current clan rank or fame will not matter. I will change the basic foundation of our cult. The cadets were shocked. This was like a declaration of war against the 6 clans. Is he crazy? Chun Yoan's path required power, but also formidable forces. It was like a bad gamble to be with Yoan. Most of them were now thinking of giving up. Please be my ally and be the root of the new clans to the demonic cult. That is my condition. Chun Yoan's voice indicated that he was speaking with sincerity and truthfully. The cadets then began to show their rejection. I'm sorry, Prince. I just want to pass the 3rd test. I'm out. Most of the cadets then began declining the offer politely. 4 of Yoan's members became shocked. Oh, no. He could have just taken them in and told them later. But they also understood the risk involved in this. I'm sorry. Most of them apologized as they left. Although most of the cadets had left, 3 were left behind. What was more surprising was that Ko Wonger hadn't left. Hubong was touched by the 3 cadets who stayed behind. Ko Wonger from Demon Fist Clan, Jia Wumin from Golden Door Clan, and Ojong of the Tiger Sword Clan. These cadets also thought of giving up on joining Yowan, but they felt the power and charisma in Yowan's speech. PR. Oh, you first. Both men spoke first, but Jia Wumin told Ko Wonger to speak first. Prince Chun. Your path might endanger all those who follow you. They might die as well. The other 2 cadets next to Ko Wonger also nodded. Honestly, I thought about leaving too. It was understandable. Ko Wonger had the power to side with a more reliable candidate. But as a warrior, I wish for a greater goal. After hearing your dream, I felt tempted to join your cause. Ko Wonger then knelt on his knee. I have a long way to go, but I will never kneel to anyone besides you. Please use me as your first sword. He shouted as he gathered both hands, I pledge allegiance to Prince Chun Yowan. And here was the first fist, Ko Wonger of the former demon god, pledging allegiance to Chun Yowan. I'm the first servant. All the cadets were astonished, but only Hubong was jealous. Chapter 46, I will ram it in until it works, Part 3. After joining Chun Yowan's team, 3 of them introduced themselves to Hubong, Machel, Wangchen, and Ho Daming. Hubong then spoke to Ko Wonger. I don't care if you are sword or shield of the master, but his first servant is me. He wanted to make this clear. Puzzled, Ko Wonger raised his eyebrow and Yowan laughed. Yeah, Hubong is my first servant. Haha, I see. I guess we have to make things clear. Ko Wonger laughed as he agreed and Hubong laughed in satisfaction. Yowan now had 7 members, but he still needed 4 more. Let's not hurry. However, he didn't have to gather people too fast since Chun Yowan wanted true allies. Master, what should we do now? Hubong asked. Their training now relied on the group leader's instructions. Chun Yowan ordered, everyone, absorb your black dragon ball. We will need to do that first to learn the 7 demon sword. Yes, sir. Other than Chun Yowan and Ko Wonger, the other 5 didn't have top-class internal energy. They had to increase their energy up to 30 years worth so they could learn 7 demon sword, and train for the formation. Hubong asked, Master, what should we do with the 7 dragon sword? We have never learned any top-class martial arts skills yet. Ojong, Machel, Wangchen, and Ho Daming nodded. Unlike Chun Yowan, they didn't have the chance to learn powerful martial arts. They have a point. Learning a top-class martial art isn't easy. Jia Wumin also shared the same thought. He had learned the Golden Door Spear skill, which was a top-quality martial art, so he knew how hard it can be to learn it without a teacher. Nothing is easy then. Yowan had a solution this, however. If he used tutorial mode, he could scan the person's movements to easily correct any problems or errors. I will have to teach them myself. Yowan smiled, then after you absorb your black dragon ball, learn all the movements to the 7 demon sword first. Movement? Starting tomorrow, you will train with me in the morning. I will teach you the formation and the movements. If you can't do it alone, come. The cadets became excited. Meanwhile, Chun Yowan was thinking of a very effective teaching strategy. Well, I can just ram it into their head until it works. Yowan decided to adopt Subming's education philosophy. After the plan was set, the cadets left to absorb their black dragon balls. The only one left was Ko Wonger, who wanted to talk some more. What is it? Master, I think it'll be better for you to have someone with you when you move around. Why is that? I am concerned about the point where we were told to take the yellow tag from the instructor. Yowan became intrigued. He too was concerned about that. The chief didn't say that the tag was only limited to one person. The meaning behind the word suggested, the one who has a yellow tag will become a leader. Maybe the purpose for the yellow tag wasn't to defeat the instructor, but to have the cadets fight against each other. And that was what Ko Wonger was worried about. You have fewer allies with you compared to the first cadet, so you have to be careful. Thank you for your advice. Of course, Master. Yeah, then let's do something about this first. Chun Yowan then went to the instructors to ask about how the dorm rooms would be assigned. Fortunately, he was told that the group leaders could ask for a new room with his own members. Thus, Chun Yowan immediately requested a room. When that was done, he went to the private room to absorb the black dragon ball. Ko Wonger, who wanted to use the room next to Yowan, was astonished when he saw that Yowan was allowed to use the wider room that was not open to the other cadets yet. I will become more powerful and strive to be in the same building as you, Master. His eagerness only grew. Yowan came into the room and opened the wooden box. Ugh! A thick foul stench filled the room. Chun Yo-won picked up the ball with a scowl and put it into his mouth. He chewed it down carefully, enduring the bitterness. Ugh! Nano, help me absorb this thing. Yes, master. Yo-won then swallowed it and began using the breathing of thousand martials skill. Sensed substance that provides strong energy activation, increasing bodily function to absorb the substance. A while later, Chun Yo-won's body began letting out steam. It was the phenomenon that happened when one obtained 60 years worth of internal energy. After a while, the steam stopped and Yo-won opened his eyes. Oh! He was astonished to feel the heavy internal energy below his stomach. His internal energy was now above a little bit over the 60 years. Now I really am at the master level. Yo-won thanked Nano. Nano. It's all thanks to you. Yes, master. It's all on me. Yeah. Nano was a machine, so it did not know to be humble. Yo-won got up awkwardly and began trying using his internal energy. On his hand, the clear shape of chi appeared on his palm. I got it. If he could give it will of the blade, then it would allow him to use blade chi like Chun Yu-chan. I should get used to using chi. Chun Yo-won tried to go into training when he suddenly remembered something. Oh, right. Nano, can you show me the video about Baki? Yo-won asked. Playing the video through augmented reality. Chun Yo-won's eyes moved rapidly began to watch the playback of Baki starting to fight against Ho Jin-chong. Nano, zoom in on Baki. Zooming in. Yo-won looked closely after Nano zoomed in. What he was looking at were Baki's face and neck. And when Baki was thrown back and got up while coughing, Yo-won thought, Nano, zoom in on his face and neck. Zooming in. As the screen zoomed in to the point where it began to show Baki's skin pores, Yo-won ordered Nano to stop. Stop. Pausing video. Baki's face was pale and his eyes were red. What was more surprising was the fact that his neck was redder. With the zoomed image, one could see that there were small red dots all over. Yo-won mumbled in anger. Poison.